and welcome to the RPG Blender, where we give lesser played games or forgotten settings the roll the dice they deserve. I'm your host, Game Master George, thrilled to welcome you to the next chapter in our adventure. Our heroes have saved the council from the creatures of darkness, but have they revealed too much in the act? Find out as we explore a new land of power and ancient secrets in Exalted, the Hunter's Eyes. Welcome to the RPG Blender. I'm your host, Game Master George, and today we are returning to the world of Exalted. Finally, with the full cast from the start. Well, minus strings, but that's fine. The real main cast, we've got the three of us here. I know, I just depressed us all, but that's fine. Let's meet our cast. I think I said my name. I am Game Master George, if I did not. And moving right along from that awkwardness, can you tell I'm tired? We'll go to Greg. Say hello, Greg.
Hello! Hi! I'm here! I'm alive!
Yeah.
I'm a real boy! Oh gosh, it's so good. It's so good to be back. Thanks for having me, George. Thanks for having me. I play Adramalik. My fun facts of the week, day, month, year, what time is it? My fun fact for you today about Adramalik is that he is afraid of drowning. He's very afraid of drowning. He maybe was a little apprehensive when we were in that dreamscape when we were entering the watery thing, if you remember that. Now you have a little bit more fleshing out to understand. He was a young boy. He almost drowned in the ocean, and he was saved by one of the slaves that lived there. And that's where he kind of also began to have that burgeoning trust and understanding that, you know, they aren't just cattle, they're people, you know. And yeah, there you go. Boom.
Wow, look at that. Added enough details, I don't have to ask any follow-up questions. Beautiful. What a return to form. All right, moving on from that, we've got Craig. Say hello, Craig.
Oh, hey, everybody. It's me, Craig. I play Dirham Barat. And a fun fact about Dirham, I just want to say this is fucked up that Greg just had that factoid, because I had a fun factoid prepared, and now it's going to seem like a fucking cop-out. But as Dirham, I believe we've mentioned that Dirham's from the Blessed Isle. But along with that, because the Isle is surrounded by water, comes as no surprise that Dirham has some experience working on boats. A commonplace in the Blessed Isle, because that's a necessity. So he has some basic experience in handling a boat.
All right. So you're from a coastal area of the Blessed Isle, because the Blessed Isle is fairly big.
Sure. But yes.
All right. So we've got 2 for 2 with water-based facts. Let's move on to our final cast member, Rich. Say hello, Rich.
Hey, everybody. I'm Rich. I play Smiling Mountain, also now known as Rakim, because now the person who calls me Rakim is back.
Never known as Rakim. Name was never Rakim.
What was the name?
Well, no, that was the fake name that I gave you.
Yeah. Perfect.
Rakim. Yes, Rakim. That's what his name was, right? That was the name.
Fun fact about Rakim. I don't have a water-based fact. I'm not lying. I'm spinning my wheels trying to think of one.
You don't have to. You could just say a fact. It's okay.
Do you drink water?
What was his biggest cannonball he ever did? With a man his size, how much of the pool did he empty?
Is that an acceptable fun fact?
Let's see.
You're kidding me, because that's a game changer.
I would say that it was actually when he got in some of the most trouble when he was at the in the training amongst the divine blooded, or what do they call it? The dragon
the Immaculate Order?
Thank you. The Immaculate Order was actually when he did a cannonball in the bathhouse, when the thing is almost the exact same size as him. So when he did the cannonball, it then flooded completely down the hallway, which he thought was hilarious, obviously, at the time being a 16-year-old boy. But everyone else found it less funny, but, you know,
and he was ruthlessly disciplined after that by your good master, Pluton of the Endless Stream.
Yeah.
You think you would have enjoyed it, considering, you know, big old splash of water.
Big old endless stream. Right, we don't even know what his powers were because we didn't see them.
Because he chumped his rolls during the fight when he was real. And now
the dice tell a story. He had no powers. He got put in there just because he knew the right people.
Honestly,
Bureaucracy
that's how
through
most
the
of them get
roof.
their jobs, I'm sure.
Exactly.
I mean, that's probably
boy.
also why they had the most talented like apprentices going with them, is because they were like, "You just fucking take care of this."
Right, exactly. We get it.
All right. Previously on Exalted, our heroes arrived at a meeting with the council where it was revealed that their good friend Captain Najalan was in fact their old master, Pluton of the Endless Stream, risen from the grave in some unknown manner and somehow plotting a takeover of this city. This then erupted into massive combat as Smiling Mountain leapt from vat to vat, trying to rescue the members of the council from the hungry ghosts that Pluton had sent after them. Meanwhile, Dirham confronted their master, who seemed oddly unconcerned with the combat, not fighting back, not even seeming to overly resist the charges from his fiery weapon, until eventually the all was somewhat revealed when a creature burst from beneath their feet, devouring Pluton, whose guise then dropped to reveal that it was in fact Najalan, possibly possessed, possibly disguised, who knows what that might have been. However, Dirham then managed to, with, oh god, the ungodly amounts of initiative you stole from him, managed to dispatch the new horror before it could unleash any of its rather impressive might against him. But meanwhile, Mountain, down trying to rescue the council members, was saved by a timely intervention by Adramalik, appearing into the room atop a shadowy steed, riding from the earth, leaping from it, and beginning to strike down the hungry ghosts. Once the council was safe, the two of them, back to their old ways, fought back to back and sent 3 of the hungry ghosts back to the underworld. One of which they did not, because it was devoured by the demon of one of the council members, which was probably a very horrifying thing to see. But it happened mostly off camera, so we don't need to worry about that. Anyway, that brings us to now, with Smiling Mountain rescuing the council members from underneath his improvised shield, and Dirham making his way over with the body of Captain Najalan.
Yeah, so Dirham, with body in arms, walks over to the group.
All right. Well, that's not what he's supposed to look like.
Did
No.
you kill the captain of the guard?
Good to see you too.
Well, yes, it's excellent to see you. Yes. Where have you both been? What's been going on? You left without me, and now all of a sudden you're back here killing the captain? I mean, I thought we were helping these people, or what? What's going on?
We are helping. We are helping these people. I
Dirham
tried to
gives-
interject before
yeah.
Dirham like gets
Dirham
his
gives a
dragon
sharp
sidewalk.
look to
Blows
Mountain,
the gasket.
sharp look to Adramalik back.
Dirham, who currently has his
Yes,
sign on his forehead.
Sign is active.
So we came here, we realized that something was wrong and some of the council members were dead. We think this may have been an oversight of Captain Najalan, who seems to have been disguised or possessed by an evil creature. We'll get to that because that's another discussion. Anyway, we knew that some of the council members were dead because we were around when his demon returned and said that some of the council members were dead. Assuming that some of the council members were then being targeted, we then had to find a way to help the council members. We worked with Najalan, who it turns out was actually the rat or the crux of the issue, who then led the other council members into a trap, probably previously planning to do this a lot slower, but once realizing that we were involved, thought that he probably had to make his move quicker than not.
Well, his prematureness has been his downfall. Well done.
He is
everyone.
not dead, if that is the body.
Well, I mean, the plan failed, right? I mean, you can all agree the plan failed, right?
We are correct that it seems that his plan has failed, but we now realistically have another problem of we have someone that it looks like, and I'm looking at the body, and up at Dirham can either disguise themselves, reanimate, possess.
Right.
That's not great.
He lost the battle, but the war is still on.
And to make matters worse, and I gesture at the council members who are all unmasked, I don't think they're supposed to know what each other look like, and realistically, we can't let them out of our sight because they could be harmed.
Most of
Or
them
taken
are
over.
currently gaping at the big glowing sign on Dirham's forehead.
All right. Let's address this and then get back to our own questions. And Smiling Mountain turns and claps his hand, like very like nicely, is like, all right, I'm sure you have questions and I would be happy to have answers. Let's just keep in mind we do probably have to keep this shorter than not.
You can give me a read intentions first.
You got it.
Enter social battle. Da-da-da-da.
Roll join debate.
Yeah, right. And as Mountain is sort of squaring up, Dirham will very calmly walk up to them as well and just stand next to him, meeting all of their gazes.
And Adramalik, seeing this, kind of will like scamper over as well, and he'll like sort of puff out his chest and like stand to the opposite side. So if you're on the left, he'll flank on the right side. Should I stand with my left shoulder or my right shoulder? Dirham, what shoulder are you holding? Okay.
I got a 4.
You got a 4. Okay.
Not my best roll, but
Not your best roll. All right.
not a great start to the night. But all right, get it out of the way. Shake it up.
But they don't have masks on.
They don't have
That's
masks on, which
true.
makes them all considerably easier to read. And yes, they are all gaping in surprise at Dirham's little sign on the forehead. A little bit of fear from most of them. Not so much from the arrogant man or from the old man who summoned a demon. And the bartender is looking at it with, the, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm seeing this, but not so much surprise.
So I'm sure you all have questions about us, and I gesture very poignantly to Dirham, and of course about this. Just so you know, the things that we have said, nothing has changed. We have always known this. He has always been this. Our intentions are no different, but I would like to know if any of you have any questions that you would like answered at this time, as I'm sure you do.
They share a glance amongst themselves before turning back to you, and then just a flood of questions from them.
All right, we're going to start one at a time.
Not even one at a time. Just, how long have you been doing this? What's going on? Where did you come from? What is that?
Dirham holds a hand up. As far as where we have come from, how long we've been doing this, those details are irrelevant. What you need to know is that we exist in this world, and some people believe us to be problems, anathemas. We seek to show the world that there's another path. And I think our actions here have shown we are true to that. We mean what we said. We're here to help. Your town was able to give us safe refuge and time to refuel from our travels, and we're thankful for that. And we don't need mistaken bloodshed.
The old man chimes in. Does the order know about you?
As long as we've been doing our jobs right, no.
And as you answer that, the bartender says yes.
What do
They
you
know about us?
Well, the Order knows that there was anathema in the city. They just didn't know that the anathema was us. I mean,
Well, yes,
odd,
there's been
perhaps,
a rumor.
but
Agreed.
not particularly our direct identities.
I do look at the bartender and say, elaborate.
The alcohol that reacted. It's a
Oh,
tell.
when you were glowing when you drank the beer.
No, when you reacted to it. Remember
I
that?
don't remember drinking that. It must have been somebody else.
Well, it is.
Hakeem, I mean, you really
Pathological liar.
It is a specialized formula which reacts to those of awakened essence. They may not know exactly what you are, but they certainly know that you're more than you claim to be.
You mean him specifically or us in general?
Generally, they would think that they would travel in kind.
I travel with a monkey. I mean, he doesn't glow, okay? Let's be honest, right?
And so you reported this as is your duty.
I did.
This is fair.
So they're on to us.
They're on our trail.
Well, Dirham says, looking at the remainder of the council, where do we all stand concerning this?
The old man speaks. You saved us from whatever that was. So, while I'm certain we could have fended ourselves against the spirits, I do not know what that larger thing was. So, I suppose you've shown yourself to be above whatever corrupting influence that might have.
And we most certainly are. And we're above any other influence, the barbarian horde and everything. We can handle all of that. And in fact, I mean, though our numbers be small, we are looking for a sort of safe haven. If this city could be that place for us, and if you would be threatened by the Immaculate Order, perhaps we could provide alternative means of protection.
This is getting ahead of ourselves a bit.
Oh, yes. No, just speculative, hypothetically,
There's no harm in more allies, though. I'll say that much.
This is true. But
And I have to say, I expect that if we were to reject your existence or your offer, what we've seen here, I don't think you would have much difficulty simply removing us.
If the
True.
council is onto us, this would be pointless. It would only inflict harm on your city.
But also, we're not here to spill mistaken blood. As long as you don't mean any harm to us, we mean no harm to you.
Our objective is always the protection of this city, always its continuance. If that is also your goal, then our needs align. We have, turning toward the other members of the council, always welcomed alternative methods for protecting the city. It's our strength here. So, is it any different to accept this?
This is a fair point.
Way to go, demonologist. You're my favorite now.
I like him.
And are we all in accord? Durham says, scanning the entirety of the council.
The arrogant man bristles a little bit, but it gives a curt nod. The woman looks somewhat impressed by what she's seeing, and very quickly agrees with a firm nod of the head. Whereas your bartender friend takes a few minutes of slow contemplation. I should like it if this can end in not confrontation between my patron and yourselves, but I do not know if that is possible. Regardless, the duty toward the city is foremost. So,
By the patron, you mean Immaculate Order.
yes.
They seem like good people, and so if we can avoid killing them or even fighting them, this would be my ideal as well.
I don't see that as likely, but perhaps.
I believe we are almost at the point where we can leave the city and we can go places that are much harder for them to follow. And even if they do have to fight us, it is possible that we would not have to. I suppose there's no easy way to say this. It is possible we would not have to kill them. If they already know who we are, then protecting our secret with death is somewhat redundant.
And the old man speaks. So you intend to leave? You don't intend to stay here?
We
I
have
think-
other business to deal with, but we don't want to leave your city in turmoil. And I do believe your city is still in danger. So unless our hand is forced, Dirham looks at Adramalik and Mountain.
Beyond this,
Yes.
you've seen what my comrade can do. All of us are capable of much. And I think that if a confrontation with the Immaculate Order was forced here, I think that it could do damage to the city and its populace. And I would not wish this on your city. Beyond the fact that it would weaken your city in a time where it definitely needs strength, it would be pointless. So if we can leave, or at least be somewhere out of the way, if the Immaculate Order is after us, this would be preferable.
That, of course, leaves us at the whims of those barbarians out there, does it not?
Well, of course we wouldn't want to leave you in that sort of precarious state. So simply tell us, do you know of any other Immaculate Order agents in the city?
There are 4 currently, correct? Or is it 5? There's a
5.
fuck.
And these are the ones who are aware of who we are, or simply aware of the presence of anathema?
They are aware of, well, they were, when they arrived, aware of you in particular. And then the 3 of you showed up together to the council debate.
Meeting.
So it made it quite plain who each of you aligns with.
So regardless of whether or not we are anathema, you would be considered one, therefore we would be guilty by association, regardless of
More
what that is.
worth extreme investigation, not guilt by association, of course, but rather a heightened suspicion.
Why haven't they acted then? They know what we are,
Because we're big.
but they have
Because
and it's their job.
I did not work with them because I was forced. I worked with them because I believe that they truly do have the goodwill, the good fortune of the people in mind. There are some who do not.
As he says that, Dirham's eyes dart to the other council members to just see what their reactions are to him putting that out there.
I think that you have been told this, and I do not blame you, as it's something that I was taught my entire life, and it did take me seeing a good man become as Dirham is now by offering to sacrifice himself to save me from a beast. I then saw a member of the order demand he be put down before he could learn his power, before he could come into his power. And we had been taught our entire lives that it changes you instantly, that you are a monster, that you are corrupt, unsavable.
And they have not done that here, which leads to my belief that they do carry the safety of the people as foremost. Right now, you are doing work to protect the city. It might be that that's what has stayed their hand. Perhaps they simply wish you to throw yourselves against this other force and
Oh, certainly.
destroy yourselves against it, of course, but maybe they do truly just want to have you see what you do. Yes.
No, that is a noble belief, but if they are staying their hand to wait for our actions, it is not out of the generosity of their heart, but rather to see ourselves exhausted and then kill us when we have bereft ourselves of our strength.
Both are very possible. Both, and I do look between you, and I say both are very possible. Though I would obviously, with my own bias, lean one way or the other. However, I do think it shows a respect for the unknown, and as you say, a respect for the people here. For the same reason, I do not wish to engage them in a city. They probably feel similarly. If we were all as Dirham, it would put everyone here at great risk to engage us in a populous area. So I believe that it is possible that one, they don't know what we are capable of, and we are not newborns as they are used to plucking. But it is also possible that maybe this group who is younger wants to see what we truly are. But until they act against us, I think that we are strong enough to wait. We don't need to aggress them in any fashion. And if they know who we are, then that just makes our jobs that much easier, because it means that we don't have to tiptoe around what we are. We can act decisively and with purpose rather than worrying about revealing ourselves. So you've done us a kindness, my friend. And I give a nod to the bartender.
He gives an uncertain nod back. So, what then is your plan?
We will have to discuss it amongst ourselves, but my inclination is that I will probably call my forces here to help shore up your forces and ensure that you are respected as an independent entity, as we have beseeched the other forces to respect you as. And we will stay to ensure that you are respected as that entity as well, as long as we do not feel that this is putting you in any danger. This would be what I want to do. However, I would like to discuss this with my fellows. I'm sure you have much that you wish to discuss privately away from us.
Oh, I was of the impression that you were not going to let us out of your sights.
A sight hearing range maybe, but maybe in the next room. Oh.
Perhaps there is accommodations that could be made for you. I happen to know of a certain building that is perfectly suitable for the maintainment of such fine folks as yourself. There may be a bit of damage to it, but I'm sure that...
Is it the one with the weird basement with those big boxes in it?
Yeah, we're not bringing them there. That's not where they're going.
Maybe.
He knows about that place.
Well, then that's perfect. He can, find the pantry, get like a cheese snack or something.
No, I mean the bad guy knows about that place.
No, yes, the bad guy was at that.
No, yeah, exactly. It would have been a great idea. I know exactly what you're talking about, but he knows about it. Where we could bring him is the clothing shop.
Well, I didn't want to, spoil my seat. We could have put the bags over there. Okay.
The clothing shop.
Yes.
Very nondescript, the clothing shop.
Yes, I should know.
Is it yours?
Yes.
Well, it's a little messed up.
Not
anyway.
yours anymore.
I mean, it's definitely still his. He definitely owns that shit. Let's retreat there. It has 2 rooms, and it has a room without an exit, that back room with the cloth and stuff. So why don't you all meet there, talk amongst yourselves, that way you can actually decide the fate of the city without worrying about us as a forcible threat, as I realize that this is very hard to do with us being here.
Well, I would be interested to know how this city even continues. Now that you all are revealed, what happens for the leadership?
We will have to enact some legislation quickly and begin finding our replacements. That will take some time, of course, so we'll still be the power here for the foreseeable future.
Just so you don't do anything rash, as my fear would be that you are all, with only the city's best intentions in mind, you can choose successors, and you will never remember who those successors are if you wish.
Excuse me?
If you wish, you can choose successors, let us know that you have chosen them, and then you will not remember who those successors are. So you can continue living, as I would assume that in such a city they may have, my fear is you may have an extreme sense of duty and may decide that it is unworth the risk to the city for you to remain alive. As you have all done such a good job of protecting the city, and I do believe you have these people's best interests in heart, we can simply make it so you will not remember, so you are not a weak link that leads to the council, even amongst each other, should something happen. And because the enemy knows who you are, they could get to you and it would be now irrelevant.
They could torture the information out of you.
There's many things they could do.
Anonymity.
But if we move the power onward and remove who those individuals are from your minds...
Oh, that's what they were talking about.
They're now
I
hidden.
thought he was going to hit them on the head.
Could be both.
Well, we shall take that under advisement.
It is I'm sure you have many ways that you go about this, but I wanted to offer it as a path.
Thank
we
you
would
for
also
the
be
offer.
more than happy to ensure your further protection if you did wish to remain in our company, regardless of where we are, here or elsewhere. I think we owe you that much. The city owes you that much.
Oh, I know. That's why the old council members are usually well taken care of. But we shall see.
And
This
I
time
guess-
around, you have an assailant after you.
Yes.
So we just have to wait for like 40 minutes and then we can go.
If you would like, I
Gorgeous.
can
I'm mistaken.
facilitate escorting them to the clothing shop, and then we can meet back here.
We will all go to the clothing shop. They can meet in the back room. We will meet in the front room. This way we are, again, they are not exposed.
Well, better get ready for a nice long stretch. There we go. That feels good. I'm claiming that corner over there. That hay heap. That's mine. See you in an hour or two or
I don't think
three.
it takes that long.
It's 15 minutes from bonfire to burning, 15 from burning to glowing, 30 from glowing to dim.
30.
Say it's in the half
It's a
hour.
total hour.
Head out.
Don't leave me while I'm sleeping again.
Didn't leave you. You weren't there. I went to your bed.
I wasn't even sleeping last time.
He was. We went to his bed and he wasn't there.
No,
It
but
was like just the lady was there or something.
did he not disappear post our council meeting?
That is correct.
I was talking about in the very
Yeah.
beginning, but yes.
All right. So
we
you wait
spend
for
time waiting. Yeah, we're gonna
spend
wait.
time waiting for 30 minutes. All right.
Power nap.
30 minutes goes by and
Thank
your
you.
forehead
There we-
dims.
All right. Do you wish to put back on your vestments and we shall go? Or do you wish to not put on your vestments? This is your call.
I have one of these too. If you need any, if any of them broke. And Ajamalik holds up like a mask, one of the council member masks.
I look at it and then I just as quickly just turn back to the council and I don't acknowledge it. I'm just
Hey, you.
Aaron's
If
eyes
yours is
bulge a
broken, I
bit.
have one for you.
Thank you for the offer, but we are fine. We have our own. Actually, and they look up, we may need to collect them. You, the jumpy man, could you?
yeah, I go get the other one.
Oh, I could have climbed. I could have helped.
You
I was
can
offering to help.
get the other ones. You can get the other ones. I say as
yes,
I'm
yes.
gathering like the first three.
I scurry up. I try and climb up and I grab him. Happy to be of use.
Great. Yes, we all will have our travel arrangements arriving soon to pick us up from this place. We will need to divert them, however. If we were to leave here masked or unmasked, it would be suspicious in either way. So instead, we will have to get into our transport and simply direct them to the new location.
All right, okay, sounds good. Why don't we
Trail them.
go in? Well, let's go in 3 transports. We'll do.
There are 4, 1 for each.
I understand. You're going to send one somewhere else.
A decoy, if you will.
I don't want any of you to be by yourselves.
Very well.
All right. So at Dirham, why don't you go with 2 of them? The Malik, you go with another, and I will go with another.
Very well.
I can go with 2 if you'd like. I mean,
I am certain that you could just go with one, my friend, and then you can send the other one off as a decoy. And these ones can go to the shop.
very well. Okay. Who
All
wants
right.
to come with me? Huh? He
They-
shoots a big beaming grin, and then Uba scurries up on top of his head. Is like pointing at his head.
They who all saw you ride in on a shadowy horse erupting from the ground, do not immediately jump at the chance.
We will have the bravest will go with you, and I point at the very pompous guy. Like, you go with him.
If I must.
Well, didn't make it sound like such a chore. I'm sure we'll get along swimmingly.
Well, it's you two, referring to the bartender and the woman, go with Dirham, and you can come with me, my friend. And I look at the old man.
Very well. All right. The transports arrive, 4 carriages, one of which you send off to where?
They would probably know a better place to send it than I would. I will leave that to the wisdom of the council.
Take a trip around the town. Why don't you?
All things considered, we all should probably do the same.
Sounds lovely. Ugh, I would love to
If one
see.
goes around and 3 go directly to one spot.
on the
Kind of
Market
irrelevant.
District.
It's more just that we want to get to where we're going. They're going to know where we are regardless.
Okay.
Maybe we
Right?
can stop by for some more of the ale. I mean, they already know who we are. Maybe we could get some more of
It
that.
messed
That'd be
you up. Why would you drink it?
Yeah,
I
don't
thought
drink
it was good. But you
whatever
should
this
not.
is. I don't fully understand what we're even talking about. But yeah, now's not the time for drinks.
Well, I mean, we're being incognito. We're being inconspicuous. We can't do what looks like a circuitous route if that's what they'd be looking for. We should stop and,
Nobody's
peruse
watching us have a cold one, Adramalik.
I mean, they could
Doesn't
be,
have
but
to
it's
be
not the
cold.
point. We just need to get to business right now.
Fine. All right, whatever. No
Get in
fun.
the carriage.
You're right.
You like games of chance, mister? And Adramalik points at the pompous one who's coming with him. Would you care for a game of marbles while we're in the carriage? Carriage? How do you pronounce that?
It's the story of the man who learned nothing.
I wouldn't call marbles a game of chance. It's
a man
skill.
after my own heart. Skill indeed it is.
And you'll not
Very
find
well.
any more skilled than I.
Adramalik, like his heart goes a little flutter and he blushes as he happily enters the carriage with the pompous man.
This man is going to lose his monkey.
Probably. Darren will simply open the door of the carriage and allow the two to enter, and then
They do so. They sit as far from each other as they possibly can within the carriage.
Dirham, not a social person, sits absent-mindedly in there, thinking about everything else going on here.
Meanwhile, Mountain and the old demonologist make their way into the final carriage. Okay.
We'll be helpful, help them in, and then, yeah, we go.
Yep. Anybody have anything that they are trying to do along the way? Any scenes you're trying to set here?
I just would like to make a skillful roll to see if I beat this man at a game of marbles. That's it. That's
Absolutely. Give me your marbles. We'll call it Dex Athletics.
Sure.
Yeah.
Very, very generous. I also have a major intimacy to my lucky marble, which I will be using. Does that give me any bonuses of any kind?
No, it gives you bonuses.
you lose.
That's exactly what will happen.
Oh, shoot. What if I go supernova? What if I flip out? What if this is the cracking moment? I just freak out and kill the council member.
All fantastic questions. Make it Dex Throne.
I really wanted to know what it would be like to fight you. We're going to find out
Yeah.
next time on Dragon Ball Z.
All right, give me your roll.
So I got to stunt this for not
Of
failure
course.
reasons. So Adramalik, for not failure, I don't want to fail.
Yeah, no.
So Adramalik will in the carriage he will sort of like sit to the side of the coach with the beams of wood, and in the center of the wood there's that like seam that goes right down the center because there's two planks making up the bench. And so he'll say, so the object, what we're going to do is we're going to aim for that knot right in the center. We have this sort of gully here, and this will be what will allow us to guide our marbles. If it goes off the gully, and perhaps if there's a bump in the road, some misfortune, then you lose. Whoever gets closest to that knot wins. Cheers. And he will expertly angle and aim his marble, squeezing with his thumb and forefinger, and shoot it down the trench of the seam in the wood, right into the knot of wood in the center.
Okay, I'll give you a 2-dot stunt.
Kind. Too kind. 7 successes.
Good gosh.
Lucky number 7.
Wasting those rolls there. That's cool. That's cool.
Crush this man. Crush this pompous fart.
As you flick the marble, it sails down the gully and lands within the knot, maybe just a hair off the center. It would be very hard to beat you. Well, short of knocking you out, of course.
Right.
Yes. You do have the disadvantage by going first, of course.
Yes.
And as he then makes his way over to the starting area, he lowers himself in front of it. He brings himself to the floor, looks along the angle in the gully. He takes his hand, he runs it along the gully to get a feel for it. Give me a perception awareness.
He's gonna try to cheat this
He's
motherfucker.
trying to cheat me. Wait, hold up. I don't know that though. Boy, perception awareness. Yeah, so I already gone, so I have nothing to do but examine him.
Mhm.
So Adramalik's eyes are trained fixedly on him as he runs his fingers. Myself no stranger to sleights of hand. I definitely my eyes sort of list upwards a little bit, looking not at his fingertips themselves, but at the hem of his sleeves and his robes to see if there's anything going on there. I sort of unfocus my eyes and sort of take in the bigger picture, so as not to get lost in the what he's drawing attention to, because as we all know, magic takes place where you don't look.
Mm.
Okay.
Magician's hands.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'll give you the $2 for that. Good description.
Yes. Okay, perception awareness. I only have, okay, so that's 8. Okay, 8, 10. Oh, I typed roll. Hang on. Oh, wow, those 2 10s. Sick. Oh, that was great. That's 6 successes.
All right. With a 6, you're watching for anything that might be coming out of the hem, coming out of a little sleight of hand. Maybe he's trying to like nudge your marble slightly away, or secretly place something in the way that's going to divert, or maybe just even straight up put a marble there and pretend to flick. Instead, as he's bringing his hand over it, seemingly to get a feel for it, after his hand passes over the gully, you see the wood almost start to spread slightly into a wider gully as his hand moves over it.
Does this appear to be, I don't see anything magical. Is he's just stretching the planks with his muscles, kind of? Like, is he pulling the plank?
No, it's not like you're seeing his fingers dig in and pull it apart.
Okay.
After his hand crosses over it, you see that gully, and while his hand is no longer there, you see it slightly widen.
Interesting. As soon as he passes over, I'm going to nuzzle Uba, and I'm going to say, "Oh, over there." And I'm going to flick, or I'm going to take a grape, and I'm going to give a grape seed to him. And I'm going to flick the grape across the room, and it'll bounce across the carriage to the other side. Oh, we must have hit a bump or something. Uba, oh, no, not the grape. And then Uba will scamper down with the seed in his hand. And as he goes across to gather the grape, he'll surreptitiously drop the seed inside the widened crack. So now there is a little bump in the path. I mean, he's just opened it up a little, so it's wider, and it's a grape seed. So it'll hide right in the pit, and it should easily be dropped in because it's been widened. And it's covered by the movement of him scampering across and fetching the grape. And he'll as soon as he gets the grape, he'll pick it up, and he'll very anxiously, like, and he'll eat the grape. My grape.
Oh, he didn't make me do the monkey voice this time.
Oh,
Yay.
I'm sorry. No,
Yeah, dude,
no,
you're
say
losing
my
out.
grape,
You're
George.
getting minus points from me, my dude.
All right. So let's see. What would
So,
a
by the way, I
monkey's
apologize. I'm sorry.
stealth score be?
I'm sorry.
For
This is the
Uba,
episode.
probably pretty good.
Play this
go.
game for one reason, and it's hearing George make monkey sounds. That's all I care about.
I'm sorry.
All right. Let's see. What is a monkey gonna roll for stealth? Sure.
Does he have stats? I thought he had a stat page that you had or something.
Yeah.
Totally wrong.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep. To an extent.
Oh, no. He's no Invincible 2. Let's just be honest. He's no Invincible 2.
True enough. No one is invincible 2, except Invincible 2.
Invincible 3.
You shut your mouth.
That's my horse. That's my new shadow horse. He's Invincible 3. Sorry.
Invincible 3, you're going to invoke the name of Strings. Going to come back.
I hope.
Fall in love with your horse.
Is that all it takes?
Then you could use some socials.
Yes, we
All right.
could.
All right. We'll make the attempt.
That sounded like a decent amount of dice. That didn't sound like a bad amount of dice.
I hope he gets a stunt or something with
Yep.
expertly. Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Didn't help, but he got it.
Ah.
All right. Let's see if he notices.
It's a
All
grape
on it.
seed, and it's a monk, and it's
Oh,
over.
yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah, right.
Like,
At this point, it's just sort of like, you're a cheater.
Uba rolled a 3,
Oh.
and he rolled a 2.
Oh, Uba,
Let's go.
the monkey legend.
All right. So
He's getting all the grapes back on the boat. All the grapes.
he brings himself back to the edge of the gully, sets his marble down just so, with a little cocky grin, brings his finger up behind it, goes in for the flick, and pulls back. Goes in again with another practice. No. Then he waits, almost as if he's waiting for a certain moment, and then goes and flicks. All right. Let's see what the end result is.
Oh my god. I'm so excited. I don't know why.
Gotta
I
be
wasted all my
7.
good rolls on this too. If we have
Gotta be
combat this session,
7.
I'm done. I'm spent.
Yeah, right. It's fine.
What did he have to beat? 7?
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's where it ends.
Oh, that was close.
Oh my god.
As the marble shoots forward down the gully, it hits the grape seed. It bounces slightly, and you can see a look of surprise on his face. However, as it then proceeds, what he was clearly waiting for, a dip in the street. It hits, which bounces the cart slightly, adjusting your marble ever so slightly out of position. It then catches his marble back in the gully, shooting it forward, but the grape seed just managed to give it just that little bit of extra oomph, and it pops out of the gully at the last minute, diverting off course and away from the knot.
Oh, that's straight. Oh, I'm so sorry. You are quite the expert marksman, my friend.
That
Sometimes luck plays a factor. And this is my lucky marble, and I will pluck it from the center of the knot.
Shoots you a glare, crosses his arms, and pouts in the corner like a sullen child.
Nice. I sit there just smiling at him, just sort of rolling the marble between my fingers for the remainder of the ride.
The marble you just won from him?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, I would claim his marble. Yeah. Wherever it is, I'll hold out my hand.
Yes, this is like the schoolyard. You play for keepsies with your marbles.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now he gives you his marble.
I roll both of them between my fingers.
He glares at you from beneath furrowed brows.
Awesome. That's it. Just until we arrive at the clothing shop.
Anybody else in the other carts have anything in particular that they attempt to do? Any games of chance? Any pryings?
I think Dirham is probably reflecting more on the current events, not expecting what has happened to happen. But after taking a moment out of his own head, looks and sees kind of like the very obvious positioning of these two, how they've made a point to separate as much as possible, right?
That is correct.
So he'll take a moment and just take that in and say, so are you two decided on who your successors will be?
No, it'll take some time. We each have our roles in the council, and we must find one that we must find a replacement that matches our temperament. And then the woman chimes in. Yes, well, I suppose if we keep going down this path, then there won't be much room for one with your beliefs, now will there? He shoots her a little glare.
Ooh, they don't like each other. You got the fun cart.
Just so you know, I wanted to be in the cart with those two, but I didn't think it made sense since I'm so big.
Logistics.
Oh dear, I'm caught in the middle of this.
Dirham looking particularly confused. What beliefs are of issue here? I thought this was actually a fairly open city, all things considered, what with council members having demons serving them and whatnot.
That he'd like us to remain subservient to the realm forever. That seems to be what he wants. The realm offers stability here. It is not that I wish a subservience. It is that we need to do what is best for Nachara, and what is best for Nachara is often to ally with a more powerful force. Things may be changing now, yes, but the realm still offers a bastion of stability in this world. Oh yes, so clearly, but with everything that's happening here, how can you possibly still hold to that belief?
He does not respond. These mashed potatoes sure are good.
Exactly.
Dirham finding himself in a unique position, not wanting to push the scales in either way. Will say, I do think that there is value and merit in supporting and believing in your city versus the realm. Yes, the realm may have power, but power that oversees a large amount of land. And just because they have a promise for power that can help you and yours doesn't mean that it will come when you need it. This may just be speaking from a random traveler who's trying to stop a 100-year war. But what do I know? And he'll turn and look out the window.
You're not wrong. However, they did send people.
4. He said 4.
Well, they also sent them to stop us, but we're not there, so.
Yeah, I know.
They didn't send them to help. They sent to be
just mad.
stop these
He's
guys.
like, don't send people.
4 is enough. 4 of them could probably fight us, and we're enough to fight an army.
That's fair.
But you're not wrong. And it does seem that the winds are changing here.
I just suggest being open-minded about your opportunities.
I'm here, am I not? I could have remained silent and left you unknowing of the fact that they already have a bead on you.
That's true. That means you have a bit of faith in us.
It means I see what's necessary. I hope that I can have faith in you, but I have to have faith in whatever can protect the city. And from what I have seen, you can do so.
Then keep watching. And Dirham just looks out the window.
And he returns to contemplation while she gives a little self-satisfied smile.
Yeah, there we go.
And then we cut to the incredibly chatty
I'm not gonna
carriage.
make you go. I'm not gonna make you go through it, but yeah, obviously, Mountain is just chewing this guy's ear off with anything that he can. So if he's receptive to a conversation,
he's an old man. As soon as you put him on any topic, he just spins out with yarns and story is probably like half true.
That's fine.
If you hadn't seen him summon a giant demon, you probably would have doubted the times when he talks about demons showing up in his stories, but you know,
He did that, and honestly, I give him credit for that. I'm like, that was amazing. I was so concerned I was going to have to jump over there. You got the spider. It was getting. It was a great choice.
Yes, well, it's what I had on hand. Now, let me tell you about the day when I met and he
So late fun fact, I feel like it's pretty obvious at this point that Mountain actually really likes talking to old people, which is why he was constantly going to, I forget, the lady's house and stuff like that. So Mountain is more than content to just absorb stories.
Okay, and he is more than content to ramble stories at you. Eventually, you all arrive at the clothing shop, which has been redecorated, rearranged, yes, reclaimed. And
Yes.
as the first
Is Horace in there?
No.
It better not be.
Oh God!
I'm pretty
any
sure-
of my people there.
No,
I'm
you told
sure-
him to leave.
Yes, you had been convinced of the danger of leaving your cult members there.
my people.
And you got to pick
People.
one. You can't just keep
You
gaslighting
said
us
it.
like this.
You've said it
My
yourself.
people, my people. I said it once in a moment of rage.
You said it today. You said it today.
I was talking
And
about a
that's
board
why
game.
that's why we keep the recordings. That's why we keep the recordings.
Recordings never lie unless I tell them to. So
That is
The
actually
first-
very fair. That was not a game.
the first to arrive at the clothing shop is indeed Mountain and the old man.
Oh, go ahead and I'll lead him in.
Ah, yes, I see there has been some changes here.
Yes, someone was doing something stupid and I convinced them not to. Will probably take some time to fix up, but yeah.
I assume this was about the time when I lost contact with the guardian placed here, yes?
The person who worked behind the counter?
Yes.
Yeah. I had nothing to do with it. People, there was this guy that used to eat ghosts. He erased a bunch of stuff, and I was like, "Why are you touching things in here?" And he did. I know. Anyway, then people started redecorating, and then I was like, and I just start regaling a story of how I was like, "Don't do this," etc. But it's all yours. Everything's still here. I apologize for the idiocy in which you find yourself surrounded by, and I'm sure you can sympathize with mine as well. But
Yes, he listens to your story every now and then, interjecting with a story of his own. Before eventually,
Suck up.
Adramalik and the Angry Man arrive.
Angry man.
Once the cart pulls to a stop, he very quickly kicks the door open and storms out. The driver is very gracious. "Oh yes, have a good day, sir." But you see the slight rolling of the eyes as he leaves.
Sorry about him. Bit of a sore loser, really. Here, for your troubles. And I'll slip him a coin, and then I will hop off and jauntily saunter into the clothing store.
All right, you
I've seen
jauntily
your box of money. You could have given him two.
I could have, but I didn't.
jauntily saunter into the store where you see Mountain and the old man sitting there in the midst of storytelling back and forth.
Hello.
Hey, Malik, did you know that the place we passed that sells meats, they used to sell bananas?
Oh,
Yes.
you're kidding. That is fascinating. Do tell.
There
I'll
was an
jump into the
unfortunate
conversation.
situation a few years back where when they were trying to get their meat supplies in, unfortunately, the
Why
only meat that they
meats?
could find was monkey meat, which, of course, was just
Uba
absolutely
scurries up into my shirt and tucks himself into my like top part.
was absolutely abhorrent. So I convinced them that rather than slaughtering all of these monkeys for what scant amount of meat could be found upon their bodies, it would be better to import some food for them and then use them as a sort of tourist attraction in the area. And that's why you'll see monkeys running around in this city every now and then.
See, it's okay, Uba.
Perfect.
It's okay. Shh. He's very smart. He's very smart. He heard monkey meat and he got a little spooked. It's okay. It's not yours.
Not meat! Not meat! Not meat!
It's okay.
That's what we came here for.
Yeah.
Session over.
Give the audience what they want.
Right.
Okay. At which point, Dirham and the happy squad arrive, and the woman emerges first, followed by the bartender, unless you choose to.
Nope.
Great.
Hiram lets them out, but as he steps out of the cart, he immediately scans the surroundings, just seeing if he clocks anything out of the ordinary, looking for at least the visage that he saw that was Pluton.
Perception awareness.
Cool.
What's
Hey,
that face mean?
That might have been stunt worthy. That might have been kind of cool, right?
give
Because
you
everybody
one
else is
stunt.
having fun,
Okay.
right? Everybody's having fun, and maybe I'm trying to. All right, it wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth it. Okay, that's fine. 6 successes.
6 successes. You scan the area. Everything seems to be going about its normal business. People are buying, selling, but way far down at the other end of the street, you wouldn't have even noticed it if not for your super good eyes. But way down at the other end, you can see what looks like a door to a house, which has been pushed in unnaturally. You can see that it is almost shut normally, but there's just the slightest little hint of being off of its hinges. That's way far away.
Okay. Durham clocks it and steps inside.
You mean you're not going to fall for the clothing shop random sign on the wall and start another 12 episode side
Nope.
quest?
Character growth.
We have enough to deal with.
All right, you head inside where you see the old man swapping stories with anybody who will listen. Most of the council members are not listening, but
I'm
Smiling
wrapped with
Mountain
attention.
is.
As Durham enters, he's just going to say aloud to the room, focusing at the council members, about, I don't know, half a mile down the road or so. What's the building? And he gives the description of that area where the door was unnaturally pushed in. Does that ring a bell to any of you here?
They share looks amongst each other, not like they're hiding something. Like inquisitive. Do any of you know? Do any of you know? Do any of you know? I don't think I'm aware of what building that might be. I think that's just somebody's house.
Interesting.
It's good enough for now.
Someone.
No signs out front, yes?
None that I was able to clock, except for a door that seemed to be pushed inward.
Well, no, I can't say that I'm aware of who lives there.
Well, if there's any crime, at least the captain of the guard. Oh, nope, he's dead. Well, we'll have to figure that out tomorrow. But we have
There
more
is a
pressing
slight
concerns.
glance of,
Yeah,
did you really just say that from like all of the
just
council
everyone
members?
knows, I look exhausted about it. Like I'm like,
Thank you so much for taking the time to enjoy our show. Come back next week for the next part of our adventure, or join our Patreon for early access to the next episode, as well as a Patreon exclusive campaign of Rippers. Join our wonderful patrons Bubble Dirt and Nova Phoenix in supporting this show. And of course, don't forget to check out our tutorials and video plays on YouTube at The RPG Blender. If you want to stay up to date on our releases, you can join our Discord. Check the description for a link. Don't have Discord? No worries. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at RPG Blender, or subscribe on your podcast app of choice. Music is The Punk Rock Show by My Free Mickey. Copyright 2012, licensed under Creative Commons Attribution License. Thank you again, and remember, there's gaming outside the Forgotten Realms.